welcome back to 93.3 CFMU. This is New Release Mondays, and today we have a special segment, Open Mic, and I'm joined by Harrison and Cam. Now, today we're going to be talking about an EP called Skin to Skin by Amira Elfeky, so I'll turn it over to Cam.
Okay, so where do I start with this one? Because I'm not going to lie, I have no idea where. But I'm just going to touch upon, she's from LA, California. She is, she's kind of like, she blew up she blew up on TikTok, which is how I found her, sadly. I'm not cool like that. But she's very good, she's very unique. She has a lot of inspiration from the 90s nu metal, especially Deftones, which is obviously, especially with the, exploration of everyone finding them recently, they've kind of taken a new wave of fanmen, and a lot of musicians now have been taking such heavy inspiration from Deftones because I guess the best analogy would be his album Round the Fur, which is just essentially Around the Fur, the album itself is very ugly, but the melodies and his singing voice is very smooth, delicate, like the fur, which is a lot of inspiration she takes. I also believe she takes some inspiration from Evanescence, because Amy Lee, alternative metal, also very heavy, but Amy Lee is actually a trained opera singer growing up, and that's why she's able to go up there in some of the songs. This album was released in March recently, very new EP. She's also got massive success, some of her singles, Coming Down, Tonight, which is probably her most infamous song, is still yet a demo, and hopefully she releases a full thing. If she wants to, please do it for me. Other than that, the album itself, very profound, very beautiful. It's what you expect from new metal's inspiration. It's very ugly, very heavy, probably playing some C sharp tuning on the guitars, the loud percussion, but then her voice kind of takes it down this different path where you're kind of ascending with her, and her lyricism of very romantic, Skin to Skin itself is just very literal. The album covers two people skin to skin, literally. Obviously it's supposed to reach this new level of intimacy, which I think the album tries to display. She goes on some of the albums, and some of the songs, I Need You Tonight, I Will Never Love Myself Like I Love You. Those songs are profound, are very romantic and very demanding of intimacy, which I think she really strives for, despite her obviously all the influences of the 90s grunge nu metal scene. She is able to produce her own sound on this album, which I think is very hard to do, considering a lot of the influences that she has are still very prominent today and still on tour. Deftones literally performed at Coachella recently. But it's very beautiful in the way that she does, and the way she sings. Her lyricism is, I think, so unique, and you crave this person on a whole nother level that's beyond Skin to Skin. And that's why the songs are so powerful. It takes, I mentioned before, we have their figurative and literal. She's very literal on this album. I Need You Tonight is literal as it can be. If you don't take that hint, then there's no hope for you, right? So that's the way the album is. It's A Dozen Roses, also very a lot of the songs are so literal, and I think that's such a unique thing to do, because that's just telling the audience what they want you to hear. The metaphors sometimes you just might not get. So her saying all of this is very on the nose, just for you to simply understand. But she also has the beautiful melodies in the background. The percussion is going very well. Everything is very smooth, which is why I think it's so beautiful, this album. What did you guys think?
When I first saw the album cover and also the title of the album, which was Skin to Skin, I was expecting, maybe this is going to be, emotionally intimate and, soft-going songs. No, it was not. No. It was not. When I first started listening to the songs, I was like, wow, Amira really does have a really strong voice in this album. And I'm going to quote in one of the responses that Amira wrote to, in I think the media release or the interview. Amira said, quote, "This is an invitation to share in the most intimate aspects of my being and embrace the essence of human connection. The utmost gratitude for those who have contributed their talents and support in crafting this record. Every lyric that I wrote is a treasured gem of my soul and the manifestation of a cherished dream realized. And then Amira went ahead to answer the question, which was, is there any overriding themes on Skin to Skin, this album? And Amira said, quote, yeah, just mental health struggles, anxiety, hyperfixation. All the songs are really about loving the person you are with more than you love yourself, which is something I've struggled with my whole life. And this was a great navigational point for me to understand this album because because when after reading this, Amira's response, and I listened to the songs of this album, it instantly reminded me of my old self. I had issues like that too.
Yeah.
I loved my former partners, and I loved them more than I loved myself. My self-respect was really low. I think I'm losing a little bit of dignity here, buddy. But yeah, it eventually it was the hard lesson for me to learn, and during that lesson, the process of learning that lesson was, I think it is quite a description for this album. Like, this album describes that particular process for me. So it was amazing. Like, the song "Skin to Skin," which was the lyrics says skin to skin, please let me in, my love for you is wearing thin, goodbye. I didn't dive a little too much into this, maybe emotional intimacy issues, but who knows?
Because she also says beauty only feels skin deep. Some like like a lot of this is very physical, and like skin to skin, very physical, like obviously. But there seems to be like as well like the undertones of like emotional problems, because like she only feels beautiful only on the skin, and it's very hard to love someone beyond the skin, and it's very hard to appreciate someone beyond the skin in this album, which I think she touches upon, which is such a unique thing and a very like intimate thing for her being, especially I think because the way she like makes this music, she says it's like girl metal is what she'll call it. So it's mostly she's like those artists who kind of cater to like one genre specifically. Like, she's probably a musician for like women, and talking about not only like her own emotions but probably similar emotions that women may have in these relationships, which is why I think it creates this unique blend of intimacy and emotional problems in the album.
I think in this entire EP, I could really hear like the emotion in the song. So for example, in A Dozen Roses, when she was singing you're the love of my life, and she was almost like shouting it, but I could just feel it. Like I could feel it inside me, and I just it's rare these days for me to come across an album that expresses the emotions so raw like that, and that's what I really loved about the way she sings.
Yeah, that's why I think it's so unique.
Yeah,
because it's the heaviness of a rock song. So like I guess a lot of emotions of rock you can obviously say are anger, because the way you're banging the drums and everything is so heavy, which is why I think like the emotions on the song are very heightened. So like in your segment, like Don't Leave Me Here to Die, like is the lyric that goes after that, she feels kind of breathless towards the end because she's like emotionally exhausted from repeating the same phrase over and over again, and when she catches herself, she feels like left alone because she gives everything to this person, but they kind of don't recognize it. And then her saying "Don't leave me here to die" is just like the acceptance of them maybe leaving with everything she gives.
Yeah, lots of emotions, lots of rock, which I really appreciated as well. Overall, a really great EP, and I'm glad we were able to talk about it today. So thank you for joining me, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.